got the incredibly long and ungainly name of psychoneuroimmunology, which I was learning about when I was in graduate school, and is Western medicine's approach now to, you know, the cross between psychology, otherwise known as the mind-body problem, right? And the mind-body problem is an enormously important issue, because as you start to know more about how people heal themselves, well, there really is a placebo effect. The placebo effect is one of the strongest things that shows up in psychiatry, and all kinds of medicine, that you know, I think somewhere, this is when I was in graduate school, I don't remember the reference, but the average placebo effect is something like 30%. So that you have 30% of people who think that they've taken something and it is supposed to be this inert substance actually have some kind of response to it. That's a huge effect. I mean, there are a lot of medications that would kill for an effect size that big. And, well, maybe not the best choice of word. But it's really a significant aspect of things. And so I think there's no question that in this kind of work there is some mind-body issues. I think the idea then that that's a problem is not necessarily something I agree with. Because, I mean, if I was doing nothing else but creating a placebo effect in people, I think I'd be doing something for them. Mm-hmm. As it is, I think I'm doing a lot more, because I think that, but some of the things that are healing to people are not what people think they are. Again, I mean, it might be that social listening, which people who do holistic therapies are so good at compared to Western medicine. It's like really listening to you as a person, to what you want to bring. I'm not saying, you know, you talk about all these things about what your experience is. I don't say, oh, that's not possible. You know, I don't say, you can't have that experience because it doesn't fit in with what I think is going on with you. So that specific aspect of being able to listen to people and being able to allow them to be in their space with whatever it is that they're bringing is also healing, you know, but it isn't necessarily that I'm going to give you a chemical and that's going to make you feel better. You know, then you have that channel, which is the human primate like to be touched channel. And it's really true that primates that are being touched have fewer stress reactions and fewer stress chemicals than primates that aren't. You know, so that's another channel for some of this healing to occur. You know, then you have all the other stuff I've mentioned about the connective tissue and the energy work and all that other kind of stuff. And I think that people's idea that faith healing is one, and again, you have faith healing over here and you have something else over here. Mm-hmm. And then if you look at those cultures where, even if you have faith healers, and you look at what they're doing, it turns out that they're doing a lot of this other stuff. But one of the things that you don't need is you don't need people to have a particular belief system for my work to work. Now, it's true, it might not be true for you know, other people's work, but not. I mean, it certainly is true for Reiki and craniosacral therapy in general. But I just wanted to say, I think one last thing about the, you know, some of the psychoneuroimmunology aspect of it, which is that the imagination is incredibly powerful, and the ability to, I mean, that's one of the things that we do, again, in this work, is a lot of times there'll be some of this dialogue with, you know, dialogue with your hand, and, you know, what does it happen to say about what's going on, and that you can create a space where things become possible through using the imagination as a tool, and again, that's an incredibly important aspect of it as well. So, you know, when you bring up the faith healing, it really does sort of hit directly into that whole sort of world of the mind-body problem. And I think all of these are related. I think all of these different cultures, all of these different cultural ideas are all people sort of trying to get at the same questions of how healing works, how people change, how you get from one place to another. And, you know, and I also think that it's a huge human project, because it's not just healers that have been working on it in different places. It's not just people thinking about cultural metaphor, but, you know, it's also artists, it's also scientists, it's also everybody to some degree is kind of thinking about those same kinds of questions in one way or another. And some people more than others, but it's a very, very huge human project.